Hello, this is Pastor Bert. Yes, a priest, but also an architect and programmer for over 40 years, here with the results of a comparison between 3 FTP clients: AutoFTP, CuteFTP, and FileZilla. FileZilla and CuteFTP have been the leading FTP clients for years. Why then include AutoFTP? Let the comparison speak for itself. Let's see the results ourselves.
The results are this. Based on a 5-point criteria, AutoFTP wins 4 out of 5 stars. The others win only in 1 category each. Let's review these results. All 3 of these products are first class. 2, however, AutoFTP and FileZilla, are free. FileZilla has the largest user base in the world, but it has been years in the marketplace. AutoFTP is new. Both are free. In this case, the best price is no price at all. So 2 stars have been awarded, 1 for AutoFTP and a 2nd for FileZilla. Speed is important. All 3 products were given the same control test. Download 6,038 files, 158 megabytes of data from halfway around the world. The good news is that all 3 FTP clients succeeded without a single failure. The winner was CuteFTP, which gets the star for accomplishing the entire download in 1 hour and 18 minutes. It better win at a $60 price. AutoFTP, the new product, came in 2nd in 1 hour and 56 minutes. FileZilla, the world leader in installations, came in 3rd with a time of 2 hours and 13 minutes. What about these remaining criteria? User-friendly, reporting, integration. You may decide possibly to be in agreement with our findings. Together, let us examine these 3 products and let us see if you agree with our results. This is a demonstration of AutoFTP. We've just selected the site manager and now the download bookmark, which will bring up the remote site. First thing we're going to do is we're going to use the toggle switch and mark every file and directory for inclusion in the download. But having done that, there will be exceptions that we decide we don't want to include. So we'll uncheck them so that they will not be included in the download. Having completed that, we now simply click the download button. This actually starts the download. There's nothing more that you have to do after this point because the download will go to its completion. The first thing AutoFTP is doing is getting a listing of all the directories and files that will be included in this download. The reason why it's going to do this is because it's going to start giving us a projection of not just runtime, how long, but a projection of how long until this download will finish. At this point, I'm going to be doing a number of time jumps because I recognize that your time is precious. The listing of files is about over. We're at the end of the time jump and we're about to start the download itself. This occurs rather quickly now. As you can see, now the downloads are in progress. Up at the top we have a start time, which is 9:37. Our run time is 2:40. We haven't anticipated time yet. Well, that'll come after 1%. At the bottom we're seeing actual files which are coming across in the various threads. And you'll see that what's in the queue file, that represents the top directory. If we've got 50 files still there, 26 have already come across. And so that's how it's going to go, down pretty much through the entire download itself. Now we're ready to do another time jump to the middle of the download itself. The third time jump is now over. We're back now in the middle of it. We see that 68% of the download is now currently completed up at the very top, but also we have this large progress bar telling us 68%. This doesn't exist in other FTP clients. We know what the runtime is, but now we have a projection. How many minutes until the end of this download, and we now know it'll come at about 11:15, which means now you have time to do other things. You're not tied down by this present progress. The Q file, we see there's 37 more directories which have yet to be downloaded. We're in the images directory itself, and in the image directory we know that there are still 624 files. We're looking at them right now in that specific directory itself. Other things are occurring. We're seeing individual files at the bottom. In the failed transfer directory, nothing has failed, but in the success file, we're seeing individual files coming over moment by moment. At the far end, we have the start time and the finish time on every single file, and that's in our log. We're going back to the Q file, and again, we're seeing that everything is moving along fine. Our progress bar continues, and at this point, we're ready to go forward and do another time jump, this to the end of the download. This completes now our last time jump. We're here at the very end of the download, here at 99%. Going in to see the last files being transferred within the ZT directory, and we're going to be returning to the queued files to see the very ending. This completes a transfer of 6,036 files in 1 hour and 55 minutes. This is the end of our examination of AutoFTP. Next, we'll be examining FileZilla. We're running FileZilla. There are reasons why FileZilla didn't get rated the top FTP client. We just used FileZilla's site manager to open up the remote site. Now we're trying to select files. Design failure number 1. With AutoFTP, you could check all the files with one mouse click, and then check and uncheck selected files again with a single mouse click. To select everything, you must know to click Control-A, and then maintain a Control-Left mouse click to deselect files. Lose the control, and you lose all your selections. Such multi-handed combinations are not recommended nor practical in dealing with large directories where a careful selection is required. Simply put, the selection of files is not as user-friendly in FileZilla. Design failure number 2. The Windows standard is that all major options require an icon button on the program's toolbar. FileZilla has no upload or download icon buttons on the toolbar, but rather expects users to guess with a right click over the local or remote grid to bring up a contact menu with either the upload or download function to be selected. This is not the Windows standard. Having clicked the download option on the contact menu, the download begins. We now will take a time jump to the middle of the FileZilla download. Having returned from our time jump in what should be at least the middle of the download, we see at the bottom that 2,818 files are yet to be transferred. There have been no failures. 3,225 successful transfers. Those real-time measurements are good, but there's something decidedly missing. Design failure. No main processing bar. Reporting functionality is missing. The accepted standard in Windows programs is that running programs should inform users in real time the program's processing status, percent of processing achieved, and the amount of processing time required to finish. Although FileZilla does provide the number of files transferred, it does not give users any real-time status as to the percent of transfers accomplished, nor the time remaining to complete all transfers. We are now ready to take the last time jump with FileZilla to review the completion of the download. Returning from our last time jump, FileZilla is in its last directory to transfer. FileZilla has successfully transferred 6,000 files and counting with no failures. Checking log, time for the entire download took 2 hours, 13 minutes. Our review of FileZilla is now over. We are now ready to review the last FTP client, CuteFTP. We just used CuteFTP's Site Manager to open up the remote site of the download. CuteFTP's deficiencies are extensive. Like FileZilla, it too has not the ability to check individual files to be included in uploads or downloads. To select everything in a directory, you must know to click Control-A and then maintain a Control-left mouse click to deselect files. Such multi-handed combinations are not recommended in dealing with large directories where a careful selection is required. Jumping ahead, reporting deficiency. CuteFTP has no reporting features other than progress bars for individual files or directories. Just looking at CuteFTP's barren screen, users cannot report how many files have been transferred, how many files are yet to be transferred, the percent of transfers accomplished, the percent of transfers yet to take place, the run time for the current transfer so far, and or anticipated time required to finish the transfer. This is a reporting failure, a design failure, as well as being not user-friendly. How important is reporting? How important is a progress bar, user-friendly controls, time forecasting, real-time data? For a moment, let us leave CuteFTP and consider what the standard is. It's interesting that FileZilla and CuteFTP place emphasis on showing the history of what has been transferred. But this is not the Windows standard. How important is reporting? How important is a progress bar, user-friendly controls, time forecasting, real-time data? In Windows Explorer, transfer anything and immediately a progress bar appears, projecting time of completion. Windows Explorer does not bother to show progress bars on individual files or directories. Instead, the Windows standard is to embrace the future, not the past. Download anything in Internet Explorer or Google Chrome, and a progress bar appears, projecting time of completion. Such real-time projections are not optional. Microsoft, Google, Apple, the list goes on, would never release a Windows product without such real-time projections or progress bars. AutoFTP embraces that standard. FileZilla and CuteFTP act like the standard does not even exist. We have now time jumped to the middle of the CuteFTP download. Other than clicking the download button, and fortunately CuteFTP does have both a download and upload button, there was nothing left to see from the beginning of the download. Now in the middle of the download, that problem remains. Other than seeing completed directories, CuteFTP gives no indication of where it is in the download. There is no indication of the total files or the percent of files transferred, nor the time or number of files yet to be transferred. Users are left in the dark, which is not acceptable. With nothing left to report, we will now time jump to the end of the CuteFTP download. Hitting the time jump, we're at the end of the CuteFTP download. Once again, no statistics to report other than to note that the download is finishing. Only because I've kept track can I report to you that the CuteFTP download has finished in 1 hour and 18 minutes. We now are ready to offer our conclusions on both user-friendly and reporting. First, AutoFTP wins the gold star for being user-friendly, not just for the ability to check items, but for the quality of its forms and controls throughout the program. FileZilla and CuteFTP would do well to upgrade. Second, concerning reporting, AutoFTP wins the gold star, setting a new standard for FTP Client programs. FileZilla made a respectable showing, but has room for improvement. CuteFTP finished in third and requires re-engineering. This brings us to the last criteria in the comparison, integration. Once again, we begin by looking at AutoFTP to set the bar.
An FTP client is an automation tool. A scheduler is likewise an automation tool. AutoFTP logically then works as both the FTP client and a scheduler in a single tool.
Institutions are dependent on computer systems, but sometimes computers fail and the current data becomes unreadable or inaccessible. Sometimes disaster, such as fire, strikes and everything is lost. The no-risk remedy to backing up critical files and databases is to schedule the shipment of those files and databases to a distant website, maybe in another state. Today, such is even required by such laws as Sarbanes-Oxley for financial institutions. In this way, if something happens to the local institution, or if a critical server fails beyond realistic repair, restarting the institution requires only replacing the hardware and copying down the last day's data from that distant website. AutoFTP is the perfect tool to accomplish this automation. Simply and quickly using AutoFTP. For webmasters, there is a need from time to time to refresh and republish websites. Maintaining websites is not a small matter. Fortunately, the entire site publishing can be accomplished simply and quickly using AutoFTP. Let's use AutoFTP to create a simple scheduled download. Going into the Site Manager, we select our connection. When the remote site comes up, we check a couple directories to be included in the scheduled download. But instead of clicking the download for an immediate transfer, we click the Scheduled Download button. The AutoFTP scheduler then appears. We name our scheduled download something meaningful to ourselves. We're going to enter a date and time for the scheduled download, but in this case it actually won't be used. So we select some time on Christmas because another schedule will actually chain and run this scheduled download. If we choose, and this time we do, we will indicate within this schedule that once the scheduled download is accomplished to shut down the computer. Now we click the Save button, which actually creates the scheduled download. When saved, record of the scheduled download then displays within the Schedule of Files grid to the far right. Note, I've already created a zip directory for archive schedule with AutoZip, which we could chain to or from if desired. That's it. The scheduled download has been created. Now you exit AutoFTP Scheduled Download. Creating a scheduled upload in AutoFTP is almost identical to creating the scheduled download. Going into the Site Manager, we have selected our connection. The purpose of this second demo is to again demonstrate the ease of creating schedules, but more important, to show that schedules can run other schedules, that schedules can be chained together by a simple point and click. When the remote site comes up, we check a couple directories to be included in the scheduled upload. But instead of clicking the Upload button for an immediate transfer, we click Scheduled Upload button. The AutoFTP scheduler appears. We name our scheduled upload something meaningful to ourselves. Since this upload schedule is going to run the download schedule, this time we enter a real reoccurring date, like Wednesday, 5 p.m. This is important. To cause this upload schedule to change to the download schedule, we simply select the schedule download in the Next Process Download combo. When saved, record of the scheduled upload then displays within the Schedules of File grid to the far right. Finished again. We have now also created a schedule upload that will run every Wednesday at 5 p.m. and when done, then chain and perform the scheduled download. Now you can exit the AutoFTP scheduled download. AutoFTP can be installed as a standalone utility or integrated. AutoFTP can be installed as a standalone utility or integrated within Shutdown Pro II or Shutdown 3. AutoFTP can be installed as a standalone utility or integrated within Shutdown Pro II or Shutdown 3. If you wish to run schedules, then you have to install both Shutdown Pro II and AutoFTP on your computer together, because Shutdown Pro has within it the servers that run your AutoFTP schedules. In our examples today, we created both an upload and download schedule. In Shutdown Pro, we see these two schedules plus the AutoZip schedule and an evening shutdown schedule. Recall that both the first download schedule and the AutoZip schedule were set to run on December 25th. Even if the computer is running on Christmas, you can disable these two schedules so Shutdown Pro will not run them at all. However, a disabled AutoFTP schedule can still be chained to and thus run by another FTP schedule, as we did from the upload schedule we created. Here then is how you disable these two schedules. Right-click the first schedule you wish to disable. When the dialog box asks you if you wish to disable the schedule, click the Yes button. Select an answer in the same way for the second schedule you wish to disable. Both schedules are now disabled. This completes our examination of AutoFTP scheduling and its integration to Shutdown Pro II. We will now consider the scheduling capacity of FileZilla and CuteFTP.
Concerning FileZilla and CuteFTP scheduling, I shall be brief. FileZilla has no scheduling capacity whatsoever. I mean none, nothing, zero capacity. That is its product state. CuteFTP maintains it has a scheduling capacity. However, our finding is that CuteFTP's scheduling capacity is both inadequate and not practically usable for the public. As to CuteFTP's scheduling inadequacy, CuteFTP allows users to take a copy of the Q directory after a download and then enter that listing to be used as a reoccurring schedule. That might be fine for those who might use that capacity to back up a database. That capacity, however, would be of no value for websites with dynamic content directories. Repeatedly backing up the same files from a dynamic website directory is of no value whatsoever when that backup is not getting the new files added to its directory. CuteFTP also provides a transfer engine, which it claims that users could write computer script and create backups or upload recurring schedules. And that is the problem. 99% of users are not programmers and have no desire to take up the occupation. As to the remaining 1% who might have programming capacity, the script which the transfer engine will consume is not a known scripting language. It's not VB script or JavaScript, but rather something else. Programmers resist investing valuable time learning some unknown scripting language where the script can only be used on a single project, or where one could not even place the language on one's resume. Worse, if an institution convinced one of its programmers to write such scripting for CuteFTP, but then that programmer left the company for a better job, that institution would be back to square one, trying to find a programmer who would even touch such orphan scripting. These reasons alone are sufficient for any corporate vice president of IT, department head, project leader, and programmers to reject and fight this CuteFTP product for the purpose of scripting as one would fight the acceptance of bubonic plague. This completes our evaluation of these 3 FTP clients. We hope this evaluation has been helpful to you.
Our choice, the editor's choice, is AutoFTP.
This completes our evaluation of FTP client integration. FileZilla has no integration or scheduling capacity whatsoever. CuteFTP scheduling appears of little practical value and not worth the risk of development dollars for professionals to adopt. Alternatively, AutoFTP offers a highly user-friendly point-and-click scheduling system that any user could successfully master intuitively in a matter of minutes. AutoFTP appears to be a workhorse. In this final criteria, the winner of the gold star for integration is AutoFTP. AutoFTP wins 4 stars out of 5 and thus is declared once again the winner. This is Pastor Bert for AutoFTP saying, until the next time, goodbye, friend.